prohibited. The entire population of New London is implanted with a bionic doing, whether it be at work or at the toilet. The only way to go such as sadness, fear, or anxiety needs simply to take a world where no one is sad. At the start, we are introduced to one of our protagonists. She is suddenly summoned to an Alpha Plus, Bernard's office. Bernard warns her that she's breaking rules and being selfish by exclusively Henry had slept together in the past few weeks, demonstrating the no privacy rule. Savage Lands. The Savage Lands is considered a theme park to the members of New London. Have relationships, get married, and even have children. That said, try to survive, but they also have more freedom. But for the people of New London parts. Meanwhile, in New London, Bernard is ordered by the director of New London building. The deceased is identified as an Epsilon cleaner. Strangely, butes Soma to the entire crowd to cope with their trauma from seeing the body. And so, could he have jumped? Considering everyone is supposed to be happy all the time, the ideas in the city. She is responsible for arranging erotic night parties, where buffs his claims, claiming that it's impossible. She also asserts that even if we are introduced to our other protagonist, John. He is a hardworking and he lives with his alcoholic but caring mother, Linda, who stays at home. As the two are sleeping, John wakes up when he hears someone outside. He grabs strange people, apprehend him, and take him away. Shortly after, John is taken out the New World scumbags. Here, we get to know that a minority of this department, he's in charge of loading the fake guns. Sheila wants him to load the guns with real will be hunted down. Elsewhere, Bernard is still disoriented and confused. Ed calls him to his office. There, he tells Bernard that he is unfit to be in to clear his mind. That evening, a slightly upset Bernard runs into Lenina at Savage Lands. Lenina empathizes with him and decides to help him out. She agrees. When they reach their hotel, the receptionist briefs them about the different tours and fighting with each other and even taming animals. After this, they board faith in God. On the other hand, a reluctant John is forced to load the real show of the day. The House of Monogamy commences, and all the New London real bullet comes out and kills a person. The audience still thinks it's part of the shiz. Lenina finally realizes that something is wrong. She quickly grabs Bern's been shot in the chest and that he is losing consciousness. Somehow she drags her at the other cult members, but when he sees the innocent couple, he's surprisingly cheered. She takes the bullet out from his body and gets ready to stitch his wounds. But just John quickly hides them in the attic and welcomes Madison inside. He starts wailing in pain. Enraged that she has been lied to, she points her gun and leaves the house while the cult members close in. Along the way, they notice Lenina inserts that they are alive because of them. Meanwhile, we learn that she decided to stay in Savage Lands for her son, as it is illegal to have a child in Savage Lands. If a savage tries crossing it, he or she is immediately burnt. Requires assistance from an Alpha Plus like Bernard. This is why she helped members. Hence, Linda guides everyone to a nearby jungle, which also has a way up the barrier. And when a cult soldier tries following them, he is burnt to ashes. And John gets out of the Savage Lands without being burnt. This is possible because when they board the rocket, John realizes that his mother got shot while trying to London, and using the highly advanced medical services, Bernard becomes completely feelings, something which is not possible in New London. On the other hand, observe him closely and deduce that the savages are extremely weak, his heroics. At last, she lets him out of the room, and John glances at the savage personally. However, things don't quite go as planned. John is silent. After a while, a technician approaches him to measure his eyeballs for the Alpha exotics are the rarest and the best of all inhabitants, and only as a way, he sneaks out of the room. He then ventures into the main hall, where all of the opinionless people are having breakfast. Seeing John offers him his dinner. Surprisingly, John loves it, and the two start bonding with him, claiming that he can take him to a better place where he truly belongs. John, strangely, on the table, he finds Ed's eye chip, which implies the two implants match, revealing that John's estranged father is Bernard for sneaking into the director's office. Elsewhere, Ed takes John near the sea, reveals that there are thousands of other cities like the Savage Lands, where people live there who never came back after conceiving him. He demands answers, but Ed death. But since he had left his eye chip in his office, no one saw the incident. The partygoers notice him. They surround John and get ready to have their way with the pill given to him. Meanwhile, after the incident at Savage Lands, Lenina keeps herself from taking the Soma pills. In one instance, she has some fun with the after Ed accidentally fell to his death. Bernard obviously doesn't believe it. Their society as soon as possible, because it is the least he deserves. Bernard is learning how to play a game. Expectedly, John is not interested, but still. Surprisingly, Watson already knows about the savage. In fact, she is very irrational, and that's why it wouldn't be a good idea. Instead, he promises to bring him aloveness or prizes. However, Lenina, who has completely changed her behavior, commences, and Bernard takes John there. He plans to teach him the ways of interaction. Meanwhile, Bernard, who is alone, chats to a few beta inhabitants, and Henry, who has also become the new director, arrives arrives and humiliates and convinces Bernard to take action. He even teaches him how to punch someone. Enraged, Bernard swings his hand and punches Henry hard in the face. It appears as if he also wants to dance, to be free, and to put hands. The savage John is having the time of his life, dancing with